Okay, this is my reaction to the fight last weekend between Usyk and Fury, the rematch. Now, coming into the fight, I tipped Usyk. I knew that he would win. Now, first of all, it was a great fight. I really enjoyed the fight. It was high level boxing. It was definitely the two best heavyweights in the world. I heard a few people, not a lot of people. Tyson Fury is one of them. Frank Warren, his promoter, was another. Very few people thought that Fury actually won the fight. I thought that Usyk clearly won. 116, 112, 115, 113 is what I had it. Usyk definitely deserved the victory. The fight itself was very, very high level. I think both fighters made adjustments from the first fight. In the first fight, Fury, he dominated the first half of the fight, really. It didn't happen in this fight. Usyk made adjustments. There were no rounds that Fury just dominated and outboxed him clearly. And Fury made adjustments as well because he kept that right hand up. He didn't get, he got hit by Usyk clean. I definitely think that Usyk landed the cleaner shots. He landed more shots. Fury definitely did a lot better than the first fight overall, especially in the later rounds. But I just think that Usyk, he's on another level. He just really outclassed Fury. He was doing so many things in that fight that was just so impressive. His lead hand, his right hand, was dominating Fury, and Fury's got the longest reach in heavyweight history, or one of the longest reaches. He's one of the tallest guys ever. Usyk, a smaller guy, was able to win the lead hand exchange. One move that Usyk does that, I'm always impressed by it. And he did this against AJ. He did it against Fury in the rematch. When an orthodox fighter comes out with the jab and he steps in, Usyk, he lands a straight right jab almost automatically. He lands it like an orthodox fighter lands the right hand. He did that a lot against Anthony Joshua in both fights. And in the rematch against Fury, he nailed it. I definitely think that Usyk has more power. I said coming into this fight, it was another training camp at heavyweight. And he was definitely punching with more power than I think even in the first Fury fight. I just think that he was at his strongest in this fight. It was one of Usyk's best performances. And it was one of Fury's best performances. Fury didn't look any different than how he did in the Wilder fights, in any of his best performances. It's just that you can't really do too much with Usyk in the ring. I think in the championship rounds, Fury, I feel like he wanted to do more. When you press the attack, I feel like that's the only chance you have to really beat him. But then you're open to get counterpunched because Usyk's so brilliant on the feet. He just makes certain moves and then he's ready for the attack. Every attack that Fury initiated, maybe he'd land a right uppercut, maybe he'd go to the body well. Usyk was right there punching back and he would answer back with 3, 4 more punches. Extremely hard to beat a fighter like Usyk. I've never been on the impression that size wins fights. That's why I picked Usyk to win both times. Certain tactics that Fury's done his whole career. Hitting opponents, leaning onto him. He tried doing that. He tried hitting Usyk with uppercut and leaning onto Usyk. Usyk's footwork is supreme. He's had one of the best footworks in history. And his style is completely unique in history. Ali, to me, Muhammad Ali is the greatest fighter ever. But there's certain fighters that imitated his style. Larry Holmes is a guy that imitated his style a lot. And there's been many fighters from history that imitated his style. Usyk, I think, him and Lomachenko have similar styles. But I definitely think that, the power that Usyk has and the fact that this fight on the weekend, Fury outweighed him by 55 pounds. 25, that's 25 kilos. That is pretty much like a middleweight going up against a heavyweight. Unbelievable. The fact that he was backing up Fury in the later part of that fight just shows that he is an all-time great. Hands down one of the best ever. Fury is the type of guy where he has extreme pride. His whole career he's been saying he's the best. No man born from his mother can beat him. He's very, very prideful. He thinks he truly is the best. So I think that the fact that he lost twice to a guy that he was basically slating the whole build-up. The first fight, and the second fight. The second fight, he tried to keep it a bit more humble, but everything came out in that final face-off. The 11-minute face-off, I feel like Fury, that rant that he gave out at the end, pretty much he exposed himself. He really was troubled from that first loss. And I feel like this second loss, it's put his whole legacy in doubt. Usyk's the type of guy he can put in any era and he'd be great. Tyson Fury as well. Tyson Fury is a great fighter too. Usyk has his number. They're definitely the two best fighters, the two best heavyweight fighters of this generation, hands down. But Usyk is a class above. And I feel like that's probably a hard pill for Fury to swallow. I think after Fury, digests the loss, I think that once he realizes that he's not the best fighter of this generation, he got paid very handsomely for this fight. I think the next thing for him, of course, would be the biggest money fight, even a bigger one than this fight, would be Anthony Joshua. And, if he's upset at this loss, if he were to lose that fight, Fury's whole legacy would be ruined. It's already a bit tarnished, but a loss against AJ would absolutely be devastating for him. He'd definitely be the favorite in that fight, I think. AJ is just coming off a brutal loss as well. A lot more brutal than Fury's loss. So I definitely think Fury would be the favorite in that fight, but I can't wait to see it. I think that's the next fight for Fury. And as far as Usyk goes, I think Usyk, to me, he can retire now. He can retire today and be a top 6, top 5 heavyweight all time. Definitely top 10. Definitely one of the best fighters in history. I'm always impressed with Usyk. Usyk's definitely one of my favorite fighters. He's pound for pound the best right now. I really don't see no one beating him except for age. That's the only way I can see someone beating him. He is extremely dedicated, extremely strong mentally. I don't think that another fighter of this generation can match him mentally. He's mostly going to fight Daniel Dubois next. If Dubois gets past Joseph Parker in January, if he wins that fight, he's going to be 2-time undisputed champion heavyweight. And Daniel Dubois, he's a little bit tone deaf the way he interrupted Usyk's post-fight interview. The post-fight interview was getting a bit emotional. Usyk was talking about his family, and then Dubois just bursts in and starts talking about, he wants a rematch. I definitely think that, Dubois is improving. He's getting better and better. There was a controversial body shot in the first fight, but Usyk, he's getting better and better too. And his back-to-back Fury fights, I think, has made Usyk an even stronger fighter. I think he has real deal heavyweight power now. Some of the power shots he was throwing. Fury has tremendous head movement, but another fighter I think would be clean out. He's definitely a harder puncher. The guy that fought Anthony Joshua, the guy that fought Derek Chisora, he's definitely a more full-grown heavyweight than back then. To me, he's more dangerous. The only thing that can stop him is Father Time. So yeah, there's my reaction. I'm definitely happy that Usyk won because I placed, quite a bit of money on him. I knew he would win regardless. That's the last fight of 2025. Boxing is here to stay. Saudi Arabia, Turkey Al Sheikh, he's changed the game. In the last year especially, the amount of fights that have been put together has been unbelievable. And there it is, pound for pound king, Usyk, one of the best of all time. The king is dead in Fury. Long live the king, Usyk.